Hello, welcome to Fantatsic Books and where to find them. So I'm still on a massive Star Wars hype. I've resisted doing a film review for The Last Jedi because I don't want the channel to be about that, and I know there's a lot of differing opinions about that film that I don't want to get into. Although feel free to tweet me about the film and we can discuss it on Twitter, but don't want to do it on the channel really. But what I do want to talk about Star Wars wise is Bloodline by Claudia Grey. This is the second Star Wars novel I've read, both in the new canon. That doesn't make sense to people. Just a brief backstory really. There have been Star Wars books for not forever, but for as long as I'm concerned, forever. But since the original films came out, there have been Star Wars books, and they had a whole extended universe of what happened. But then when Disney brought the franchise and they did The Force Awakens, pretty much all of that was thrown out, and they started bringing out their own books, which again, it does make sense, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot more accessible for people like me who haven't read every single Star Wars book out there. It makes it more accessible for us to then read the accompanying books, and I get that. Although I have to admit, if I was a big fan of the extended universe, I would be so annoyed the fact that all this stuff has been made uncanon. So I really respect the people out there who are still fans after that happened. I don't know how I would feel about that if I were you, but I do really enjoy the two books I've read so far. Well, three technically. I've read the novelisation of The Force Awakens, which I don't think really counts. Although I'm super hyped for the Last Jedi version. I might have another video about that. I then read Captain Phasma, which I didn't think really warranted its own review. I will tell you now, it's great. I loved it. It got me really hyped up for seeing Phasma in the film. I won't mention stuff about the film in case you're watching and you haven't seen it yet. And it didn't give you any information you needed to have to watch the films, but it gave me an appreciation of those characters and things that happen. And if you're going to pick between paperback and audio to access these books, the audio versions are really good because you get sounds and things with them as well, and music, which is kind of awesome and was really awesome for Phasma. I'm glad I read Bloodline, like the actual paperback, instead of listening to it, because I don't think music or sounds would have probably added much to it, unlike it really did in Phasma. But I loved this book anyway. 5 stars, easily 5 stars for this book. Apparently the author, Claudia Grey, has written some really good Star Wars books, and I'm gonna have to probably read some of the other ones now because it was just done so well. I expected to maybe enjoy it, I wasn't sure because it seemed very political based. It's based around Leia's position in the Senate, and I was having prequel flashbacks and thinking, oh god, I don't want any more of the Senate, or no, just no. But I loved it. Even the political side of it I loved, and there wasn't too much of that either. There was action, there was deceit, there was betrayal, there was sort of revelations. It was really good, and I wish I could go back and read it again afresh because it was just that good, and I'm hoping the rest of them are going to be that good as well, because then I'll have to work my way through all of them. My no book buying thing be damned. I'm putting Star Wars on the exception list. And I think one of the things that made me enjoy this book so much was the way Princess Leia / Jennifer Organa, the way she's written is perfect. For me, the way I understood the character, she just really felt genuine. She felt like Princess Leia. And to me, she also feels immensely like Carrie Fisher, and I think at one point Carrie Fisher did say, I am Princess Leia and Princess Leia is me, and that felt so true in this book because she's sassy, she's smart, she's knowledgeable, she's intelligent, but she's funny and she's caring and she's compassionate, and all traits that you see from Princess Leia / General Organa in the films, in the original trilogy and the new films that we're having now. And it just made me so sad that we're not gonna, I assume, see her in the third film, because I need more. I'm probably gonna go back and read the book about her when she's younger as well. And that's something I love as well, because the main character in this book is a 40 to 50-year-old woman, and she kicks butt. She's brilliant. But you do have a couple of younger people as well, and you have this young senator. You have Leia, who's with the populists, and this other guy, Ransom Castello. I am really bad at pronouncing names. Anyway, he's a centrist. So centrists are more like the Empire in the way that they want to rule everything in a way. They wouldn't ever say that, but they are. And populists are more, no, we want each world to be able to govern themselves and we'll help. And for obvious reasons, these two parties don't get on. But they're all a part of the Senate, so... But because of that, and the woman who used to lead them, Mon Mothma, isn't very well, so she is unable to lead them. The idea is brought up that, oh, we should have a first senator, and LA is like, no way, that's too much like the Emperor. And this other guy is like, actually no, it's a fairly good idea, I like it, and he does kind of bring her around to it in the end, especially because she ends up being the nominee for the populist side with a mind to do things, you know, right. And she ends up in the end teaming up with this centrist guy who initially, you know, he's got Empire memorabilia all over his office and Leia absolutely freaks out, understandably. But it was amazing. They end up being friends, like really close, amazing friends, going on these missions, unearthing this conspiracy, this cartel. And it's I don't know why I didn't see it coming, probably because I'm an idiot. I like the fact that they go on this investigation, and what they end up investigating is, in the end, it's the beginning of the First Order. It's where the First Order comes from. Unfortunately, there's no mention of Snoke, which annoys me to no end because I really need to know more about him. But it's the roots of where that comes from, and that was amazing. I really loved seeing that, and as well, just the relationship, the way that those two characters really, really grew and were accepting, and it kind of makes me want to be like the Leia character in the way that she's just accepting of things. She has strong beliefs about things, yes, but she's always willing to listen, and I love that. But also not take shit at the same time. I think she's probably my new idol now. And even Han, like, Han isn't in it lots, like, they'll send messages to each other, and I won't spoil it, but he does make an appearance, and when he does, it is, like you can hear Harrison Ford saying the words, literally, it's just perfect. There's a couple of characters in it. We have at least 3, technically 4 other characters as well, who are sort of main characters, I'd say. You've got Joss C. Stryker, who is a fighter pilot. You have Corseller, who is also known as Corey, who is one of the interns. Then you have Grian, I can't remember her surname, and I feel really bad about it because she's an awesome character. So you have these 3 characters as well who are a bit younger. I mean, Corey is like 16, and you see them, you know, helping her out and just believing in her, especially because in this film is, I mean, I didn't really think about this really, but the ramifications of everyone finding out that Leia's father is Darth Vader. I don't know why, I just assumed that everyone knew, but they don't at this point, and Ben's off with Luke at this point. Even Ben doesn't know at this point. Her son doesn't even know. And then another senator finds this message for Leia from her father telling her about her parentage, you know, saying, if I die, just need you to know these were your parents, but I still love you. And yeah, this other senator who's a centralist and to do with the First Order finds this message and gives it to this centrist guy who absolutely hates Darth Vader and what he's put his family through and him through. And he is overcome with grief, with rage, with betrayal, and he then presents this to the Senate. And like I said, nobody knew. So she is immediately discredited and hated by basically everyone. Even her closest friends are sort of like, you could have told us. And her intern, Corey, leaves. She just takes off, and I was like, everything is falling apart. And she has to send a message to Ben because he's on the other side of the galaxy pretty much training with Luke, and they don't get messages, so she has to then send him a message so that, but by the time he sees the message, will he already have found out from some other, I don't know. I don't really think about it too much because it makes me sad. But yeah, just the ramifications of everyone finding that out, I didn't even think about it. And then they even like bring Luke into question. Luke, who's lived a really peaceful life just training these other Jedi, and even they're like, you know, should we trust him? Yeah, I can't even think about the ramifications. It just really made me think, and it was just really interesting seeing all of these intricate parts of her life come together. And that is why I'm giving this book 5 stars, because it was so easy to read. It was the first time I've wanted to read that much in a very, very long time. That I haven't, you know, put aside time to sit down and go, right, I'm going to spend this evening reading. But with this book I did. It's the first time I've done it in months and months, and I don't regret it, and I need more. There's probably not much else I can say now, apart from, as usual, I will put all the social stuff in the links below. I will put a Goodreads link up for this book as well, if you want to add it to your to-read list. There's also a link to my Goodreads on there, so you can always chat to me about the book. My review's up there as well. It's only like a little couple of paragraphs, and probably a link to this video when it's up. It was my favourite read of 2018 so far, discrediting the fact that I've read 2 books. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, give us a subscribe because that is awesome. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!